All right, what we're asked to do here in E933A is to calculate the return on assets and return on common stockholders' equity for the year 2011. All right, the formula for return on assets, I'm going to have you look right here. You're going to take your net income, add back your interest expense, get it out of the equation, and divide it by average total assets. So let's go ahead and look at what we have here. We have net income of $1,525,000. We're going to add back interest expense of $222. So that's your numerator. And then we're going to divide it by our average total assets. So I'm not going to take my ending because basically this income was earned throughout the year from the end of 2010 to the end of 2011. So on average we had some amount in between is what the idea is. So you take this plus this divided by 2 and that's your denominator. So what that will come out to be when I do all that calculating is as follows. Interest plus your expense divided by your average total assets. And when you do this calculation, you get an 11.8% return, which is strong. It's greater than 10%. So basically, for every dollar the company has in resources, it was able to generate 11.8 cents on that dollar. Now to do the return on common stockholders' equity, similar, except what we're going to do here is we're going to take net income and we're going to add back we have to subtract from that any dividends that would go to the preferred shareholders. So if we had any preferred shareholders, we'd take out of that income the amount of dividends that they're entitled to get. But in this example, there is no mention of preferred stock, and there are a lot of companies that don't have preferred stock. So it makes it a little easier. So my calculation is going to be let's see, are these in millions? I forget if it said, probably in thousands or millions. But in any event, the 1,525, I'm going to divide it by the average stockholder or common stockholders' equity. Well, that's a little bit of a nuisance. We have to figure out what our equity was at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, and then divide it by 2. So what we have here is our equity at the beginning, and basically this other equity that's negative, it could be the treasury stock, or it might be there's this other comprehensive, in this case, loss. But nonetheless, we're going to tally those up, and when you do that, you're going to get 8,500. I'm going to do this down here just so you can see. 8,556. Again, it's probably in millions or thousands. And then you tally up what it was, what equity was at the beginning of the year, and we get 7,838. So plugging that all into a formula, let me go ahead and do that here and then we'll talk about it. You take your net income, 1,525, minus any preferred stock dividends, and you'd have to be told what that amount is, and since you weren't, we can assume none. And then we're going to take our equity at the end of the year plus the beginning of the year, and then divide it by 2 to get an average. So here, when you do this calculation, we get a return of 18.6%. So basically, for every dollar that the owners, the common shareholders, have tied up in the company, that dollar has earned 18.6 cents. Not bad, not bad.